There seem to me to be three things which are important lessons to be learnt at the moment from the conflict between Israel and Gaza. The first is that the United Nations, among other bodies, would not want to sanction the idea that taking hostages is a way to win a war. So Gaza's position, as run by Hamas, is not tenable on an international basis. The idea of seizing hostages, the idea of attacking women and children in a terrorist operation legitimizes terror. That no Western government, the United Nations, cannot possibly accept that as a principle. And that's a starting point for a series of positions. The second position is that the United Nations, I suspect, will soon come to the conclusion, and much of the world has already come to the conclusion, that Netanyahu's Gaza siege has gone too far. That it comes very close because of the rhetoric that was used by both the Israeli Prime Minister, that's Netanyahu, when he was quoting scripture, and also, incidentally, by the President of Israel, who is a former member of the Labour Party, that it comes very close to genocide. I don't think it is genocide because whatever these two stupid politicians may have said in anger is certainly not what the IDF have consistently demonstrated that they've done as part of their tactics, warning people very clearly that they were about to attack, trying to encourage Palestinians to leave the area that they were attacking. But the impression and the effect of the continual bombardment certainly justifies a lot of the talk about genocide, and that's not good. The third point is that I think it's going to soon become very clear to the Israeli people that they cannot continue with a prime minister who is under suspicion of fraud, who has been seriously damaged by political controversies in the last few months, and who is apparently using this war as a way to hang on politically to his control of the country. Those three facts, I think, are clear. So where do you think that Israel has a duty to has a right to self-defense? I think it does. What we're seeing in the Israel-Gaza conflict is not self-defense. It's a brutalizing of Gaza. So there are various options. The first option, I think, is that Netanyahu has to resign and take the flak for what has happened. The second option is that the United Nations needs to move in and rescue the hostages and come to a deal with Hamas. Now, that may involve releasing more of the prisoners from Israel, but it effectively legitimizes hostage taking. It's an appalling process, and it has been brought to this end by the activities organized by Netanyahu, by his aggressive stance. All he had to do was summon support from the rest of the world. All he had to do. And it was It was ready and waiting for him. And then I think there has to be a serious rethink in Israel about the structure of the country after this war. There's a lot of precedents for getting rid of the leader during a war. Britain did it in the First World War and in the Second World War, to astonishing effect in both cases, to success. A peacetime prime minister is very rarely a wartime prime minister, and Netanyahu has demonstrated absolutely that he's incapable of handling a wartime situation, and he's made a series of appallingly bad decisions. I would love to know what you think, and I would love to know whether or not you think there is a way through this mess. I don't think so, without Netanyahu's resignation.